Save 15% off your order through Safari site using my exclusive coupon code DinoScreen. Link is in the description of this video. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Safari Limited review. I'm going to continue the trend of going back and reviewing all the figures for the time being. And today we're going to be taking a look at Safari's 2013 Griposaurus. I love Hadrosaurs. They're a staple in anyone's dinosaur collection. I mean, come on, our theropods need a snack on something on our display shelves. But I always felt this figure was overshadowed by the more popular species like Edmontosaurus, Parasaurolophus, Corythosaurus, you know, all the Hadrosaurs with those fancy smancy head crests. So I just want to do this review and shine a little spotlight on this figure. Now, this figure came out in 2013, and when I get ready for these reviews, you know, I do a little bit of research, get some little factoids about the animal and about the figure. So while I was doing this, I don't know if this thing is retired. It's not listed on Safari's site anymore. It's barely available anywhere. It's not on Amazon. I've seen like a couple, you know, out of the US websites that still had a couple in stock, and never seen a retirement announcement on this figure, so I have no clue if it's retired or not. I'm gonna email my contact at Safari tomorrow and just ask what's going on with this figure, and hopefully they can shed some light on it. And when I find that out, I'll post that down below in the comment section. I do remember a few months ago when I was on Safari's website, it was listed out of stock, and like it was listed temporarily out of stock. So I guess it's still in production, but you know, I'll find out and I'll let you guys know. So let's pop this figure up on the turntable and dive into this review. So let's start with a nice 360-degree view of the Griposaurus. Now, this may seem like a very obscure animal, but we actually know quite a bit about this hadrosaur. There are three known species: Notabilis, which is the type species, Latidens, and Monumentensis. All three species are from the late Cretaceous of North America, but we'll get into which formations they are from a little bit later on during comparisons. And there is a great deal we know about this that is known from very good skeletal material and skin impressions. The paint job is simple but very natural looking. It's mostly a grayish blue color with cream highlights. It's sculpted in a very active walking pose with the head turned to the side with the mouth open. I love Doug Watson's work with Safari, and this is another great figure from him. It's still very accurate. There's one thing that's not accurate because when this figure was sculpted, this part about hadrosaurs wasn't known yet, but we'll get to that a little bit later when I get the details on this figure. Now for some measurements. If you measure this figure along the curve of the head, it's about 9 inches long and about 3 inches tall to the top of the hips. Griposaurus in real life was around 27 feet long, so I'll put this figure somewhere in the 136 scale range. So if you collect 135 scale, this is going to fit nicely into your collection. And now let's zoom and take a look at some of the finer details on this figure. It's a beautifully sculpted figure. We have a lot of nice fine texture and scales all over this figure. And let's take a look at the head. You can see the big bulbous nose that Griposaurus was known for, or, you know, as it was nicknamed, a Roman nose, big honker on here, honk honk. You can see the beak is nicely sculpted, has that carotene, like horny sheath over the beak. It's nice decked out in cream colored paint with a little bit of white dry brushing. And then inside the mouth we do have some details, but I don't think my camera is going to be able to really see in there, but you can see the tongue and all the gum tissue is painted in a nice red glossy paint. And then going down to the eyes, you can see the eye is painted a nice baby blue with a black pupil. Love blue eyes on dinosaurs. I think this is so striking and stunning. You can see all that grayish blue paint that transitions into that really nice cream color. You can see all those nice scale variations all over the head. The ear canal is picked out in red paint. And let's take a look at the head from the top. Right at the base of the neck, you have these very large scales that continue all the way down the neck, all the way down to just about the tip of the tail. We know these from skin impressions from this animal. And then going down to the main body, get some more nice scale detail. You'll notice my figure is a little bit scuffed up because I am just terrible storing my dinosaur figures. I just throw them in a bin, and I'm always rummaging around in them looking for figures, you know, for the comparison sections of these videos. So they get kind of beat up. I'm getting new shelves for my studio. I'm going to try to display as many figures as I can so I can stop abusing these poor figures. So going down to the front limbs, you can see they're very muscular and well sculpted, and you can see the figure has the old oven mitt look that Hadrosaur figures, up until a couple years ago was sculpted with. We kind of think now, because of that Dakota specimen, that the front right here was covered in like one giant hoof, but this figure is 9 years old. That information was not available back then, so you can't really fault the figure. I kind of like the oven mitt look. The giant hoof just still looks weird to me. And then going down to the body, you can see some of these larger scales sculpted in along the sides of the body and above the hip region. You have this nice fine pebbly texture in for the rest of the scales. Turn the figure over, you have that nice cream coat. You have a little bit of scale detail on the bottom of the toes. The toe claws are painted in a very dark gray paint. Going down to the thighs, more paint rubbing. One thing about safari figures, they are beautiful. I've just noticed on some of the older figures, the paint rubs off very, very easily. But like I said, I am kind of rough with them, so it's probably 80% my fault. You get some nice calf muscles defined right here, and then turn it over. We do have a very, very nicely sculpted cloaca slit, very thick tail base. And then on the top, you have very wide, muscles at the base of the tail. Here is a view of the body from the top, and you have some more of those large scales going all the way down to the tip of the tail. Here's the figure from the front. Nice, active-looking pose. Looks like the animal is charging forward, maybe calling to a mate or trying to intimidate a potential predator. So yeah, this figure, love it, love it, love it, love it. Moving on with comparisons, let's start with some Hadrosaur figures. Here it is with Safari Limited's 2020 Edmontosaurus. And next up, here it is with Safari's 2017 Parasaurolophus. Every time I take out this little para figure, it's such an underrated figure from them. It came out in that amazing 2017 lineup from Safari, which is just still one of the best dinosaur lineups, in the history of my collecting. And I feel like this is another overlooked figure from that line. Up close, this figure is absolutely beautiful, and I'm probably going to have to review it soon on the channel to show you all how awesome it is. And let's do a couple PNSO figures. Here it is with their newly released Centaurosaurus, and here it is with their Lambeosaurus. And let's compare with a couple T-Rex figures, even though Griposaurus never lived alongside T-Rex, and everyone needs to see a T-Rex comparison in these videos. Here it is with Safari's Limited's awesome looking feather T-Rex, which is having just a little bit of trouble standing. I've had this figure forever, and it's finally starting to warp very, very slightly. And let's just do one more Tyrannosaurus Rex. Here it is with PNSO's Wilson. And now, first up for formation group shots, we have the Dinosaur Park formation, which is a very, very diverse formation. This is just the tip of the iceberg. These are just, most of the figures I have from this formation. I have, some of the Beast of the Mesozoic raptors, but we're not going to fit in this group shot. So, starting from the top, we have the Beast of the Mesozoic, Chasmosaurus, the Batat, Euoplocephalus. Here is Griposaurus. The species of Griposaurus was from the Dinosaur Park formation was Notabilis, the old Carnegie collection, Corythosaurus. Here's the Safari Parasaurolophus, PNSO Centrosaurus, and Spinops, Safari Daspletosaurus, Papo Gorgosaurus, Safari Vegaceratops, the very old wild Safari Hypacrosaurus. Here is their Styracosaurus and PNSO's Lambeosaurus. Oof, I'm winded. And next up is the Two Medicine Formations group shot. A lot of the same figures. I think the only new addition in this group shot is the retired Safari Ionosaurus, and this is the formation that Griposaurus latidens is from. So yeah, it's fun. I love doing these group shots to show you all the different species that coexisted with each other. And lastly, for our formation group shots, we have the Kaparowitz formation of Utah. That is where Griposaurus monumentensis is from. And a little less diverse. It's very ceratopsian heavy formation. These figures are not in scale with each other, so just bear with me. Here is the amazing Beast of the Mesozoic Utah Ceratops, the unfortunately retired Safari Nasutoceratops, one of my favorite figures ever from them, and the Beast of the Mesozoic Cosmoceratops. This formation will look a little bit more filled out once Beast of the Mesozoic releases their Teratophonis figure. So final thoughts on Safari's Griposaurus. Even though it's a 9-year-old figure, it still ranks up pretty high as one of my favorite figures that Safari has ever produced. It's a obscure species of Hadrosaurus. Nice that they actually, made this species. Everyone gets, does Parasaurolophus and Edmontosaurus. Gets kind of tiresome, so it's really nice to see something like this actually getting made into a figure. The sculpting and detailing is beautiful. Nice natural paint job. It's not the most accurate now because it has that oven mitt look for the front feet. But, I can overlook that. It really doesn't bother me. If it bothers you, that's what Sharpies were invented for. You can just, color in the hoof and just, make it look like the Dakota specimen. It's your figures. Do whatever you want. Now, like I said at the beginning of the review, I don't know if this figure's retired. Like I said, it's not showing up on Safari's site. I can barely find it for sale anywhere. I'm going to email my contact at Safari tomorrow and find out what's going on. And I'll, whatever I find out, I will post down below in the comment section. And while you're at it, if you feel like adding more Safari figures to your collection, don't forget to use my exclusive coupon code DinoScream to save 15% off your order anytime through Safari's website. Using that coupon code helps out the channel a great deal, and it's very much appreciated. So that will do it for the review. I have the PNSO Torosaurus that should be coming in a couple of weeks. We're right on the cusp of Dominion toys being released, so we should be having a lot of new reviews on the channel, so stay tuned for those. And as always, if you're enjoying the content on this channel, show your support by hitting that subscription button just below the video. Each subscription helps out the channel tremendously and is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you guys for the next one.